Welcome back. This is the Diamond Niner Fans Podcast, episode 10 for the week of April 23rd, 2018. I'm Nick, and as always, I'm here with Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
And producer Brad.
Go!
Oh,
there it is.
okay, there we go. I thought Homer was going to be late today. All right, Kevin, we got some stuff to talk about here, man. Let's start with an overall overview here. What a cool weekend on campus.
Yeah, it was. I mean, especially Saturday. What a great weekend. We started off Friday night with Niners walk-off and then fireworks and salute to service night also. Then rolled into Saturday morning, tailgate, baseball game at 2, a little more tailgating in the spring football game at
awesome stuff
at night. And then rolled into Sunday, another ball game at the Hayes, and had a little bark in the park, a little cornhole action, and great weather all around.
You know what was there? It was, man. It was a really cool weekend. Starting off, it was a nice touch Friday night for the national anthem. The ROTC did the formal flag presentation when they marched them out on the field. That was pretty cool. And of course, we had a big night, the fireworks and all that stuff, which we'll talk about the game later. But man, Saturday, just what a beautiful day with the weather. Really cool thing here, Kevin. I think we met probably 2/3 of our listener audience on Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say probably 75%.
75%. So it's my wife and my mom and your family and the people that we met on Saturday.
Yeah, and there's a few international listeners, but we haven't met yet.
Places in like other international locations, like Texas. Yeah, really cool. Baseball parents, man. Know you guys listen. We appreciate the opportunity to come by and hang out with you guys for a little bit. Y'all know how to tailgate. Y'all could teach some of you guys and Rob Dibble over with the Normulance. Between the two of you guys, y'all could teach our fans a thing or two about tailgating. So it was really cool. We also found, by the way, and Kevin, I think you agree with this. If we ever need a substitute for the podcast, like we're just going to take the week off and we want to put one out anyway. I mean, I think we found our substitute host. Don't you?
Yeah, I think there was a few candidates out there.
Well, I mean, I was going with Deb Hampton, Reese's mom. She is an awesome lady. If you don't know her, she could host this show. She could do this show by herself, no doubt about it. And you know what? I actually think, I mean, I'm not trying to put us out of work here, Kevin, but the quality of the show would probably go up.
Well, it is a low bar, I think.
Well, it is, but I don't know. We'll have to think about that. She could have her own podcast. That'd be cool. Awesome weekend, as we said. We're going to get through some games here in just a second and talk about some other stuff because it's been a big week. Conference USA action too. Some really kind of quirky things happen in the league. Go ahead and give our contact info out because we do like hearing from you folks. Awesome meeting you. Maybe you're out of town and we don't have a chance to meet you face to face. Send us some feedback or drop us a line anyway. You can do that at Diamond Niner Fans on Twitter, Diamond Niner Fans on Facebook, or Diamond9ERFans at gmail.com. So, we'd love to hear from you. Love meeting you guys out at the ballpark and really cool stuff. So, Kevin, let's talk some ball, right? Good week. Could have been a great week. Ended up going 3-1. We've already talked about the midweek win, beating High Point on Tuesday. But hey, wins are always worth talking about, right?
Yeah, we can go back. Our week we went 3-1 in the week.
Yep.
Got a series victory, Conference USA victory at home. That's always good. You hate to miss out on that last game of the sweep, but we just didn't have it on Sunday. But it was a good week overall for the Niners. And speaking of that High Point game, I meant to say this something last week, but what's up with your coffee mug over there, man? I'm sitting here with my Niner water cup here, drinking out of a Niner glass, and you're over there with the HPU mug.
So you're busting my chops? Is that it?
Well, I mean, this is a Niner podcast, and we just played High Point last week.
And I do. I have an HPU coffee mug sitting right here. Well, I think I have a decent explanation for it. Are you interested?
I know the explanation.
You know the explanation. It's decent. Me and this coffee mug have been through a lot together. I have a graduate degree from High Point. Went back to grad school, and it's a great mug. I like it. And honestly, before I went back to school, I didn't drink much coffee. And while I was in graduate school, I became a stark, raving, mad addict for caffeine. And this was a good mug, and me and this mug have been through a lot together, and I like it. So stop busting my chops, Kevin.
Well, if we had lost to High Point last week, I'd probably throw that mug out the window. So
we lost to them while I was in school there. I was a TA, and we had quite a few baseball players in my class that I worked at, and I told them, I said, guys, y'all are playing Charlotte next week, and those are my boys, and y'all, if you know what's good for you, you don't need to beat Charlotte. And you know what? They did.
So they had to repeat that class?
No, I'm just a grad student. I have that kind of power. If the threat didn't work, nothing was going to work. And you know what? They were very nice to me when they came back as well. So it was all good.
Well, good. Well,
but hey, look. I get it. I mean, you were going to throw my mug out the window, but everybody knows where my loyalties are.
That's right.
Everybody knows where my loyalties are.
I know. After this show ends, you're going to be doing the
Yes, I've got to get y'all out of here because right after this we record the Diamond Panthers fans podcast, and I've got to change a hat and talk about a disappointing midweek loss.
Lost to Charlotte, huh?
I can't believe we lost to Charlotte. Yeah, you got me. You caught me.
Well,
let's talk about the weekend series. Now that we're through, busting on Nick, let's talk about the big weekend series.
Yeah, we started off Friday with a big walk-off win. Kind of struggled, nipped and tucked here for a while during the game, and let's see, ODU jumped on us. They scored first in the second inning. We bounced back with one in the fourth. They jumped back ahead, one in the fifth. Josh pitched pretty good, I thought. Mm-hmm. We got back with one in the sixth. So 2-2. They jumped. They got then they went ahead in the eighth, 3-2 on us. So going into the bottom of the ninth,
I was concerned.
Well,
I'm always concerned. You notice that?
Yeah, I mean,
we're up. We can be up 8, and I'll be concerned. But
yeah.
I was definitely concerned at this point.
Yeah, we're down 1 going into the ninth, and had another great comeback. We had let's go through the inning real quick. We got Bullock led off with a single, and then Gonzalez came in, pinch hit, and got a big walk. Got a runner to the first and second, brought in a new pitcher, and Hunter Jones came in, mm-hmm. got a sacrifice bunt over, moved the runners to second and third, and then they decided to walk Reese intentionally, so blow it up to the bases again. Jackson Mims up to the plate, he singled.
What kind of strategy is that? Let's walk Reese, which I get it. You're walking. I mean, he's talented, right? He's good, but you're walking Reese to get to Jackson.
Well, the strategy there is you want to get the force. You want to have the force out at home and the force out.
And how did that work for him? How did that force out work for him, Kevin?
It didn't work out well. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah. I understand their thinking. And Mims came up. He drove a single through the left side, an RBI. So Bullock scored on that, and then I brought up Harris Yet, and he ended up with another walk-off for the week. Sac fly, center.
He's Mr. Walk-Off now.
Mr. Walk-Off, yeah. Had a sac fly, ended the game, walk-off sac fly to take this game 1 of the series. Lead us back from we're down 1 coming into that inning. Scored 2 in the ninth, and walked off. So great way to start the weekend. We kind of struggled.
And that was the second one they had blown that way the week. Yeah.
The second one we had won that week.
Yeah. I tell you what, I like the way, just overall, talking about walking Reese, and I like the way the top of our lineup looks right now, the way it's doing, because you're forcing somebody to make a decision. You're not pitching to Reese and then you got to go to Jackson and then Harris and then Ober. That's what the top of your order should look like.
Yeah, and getting on base, start that inning. I mean, Bullock, big time single, start the inning with no outs, and then Gonzalez with a walk. Kind of forced their hand, really. Hunter with the sacrifice. And
Tommy had a big weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, he needed it. We needed him to have it, and he was there. That's great. Hope he keeps that going.
Good to see him swing it again, and I know he kind of went through a lull there, but I guess that's what happens when the scouting reports come out, and you got to adjust to them. You got to adjust to their adjustments, and I think he's swinging the bat well. Good to see that. But Josh pitched well, I thought. Bats, like I said, they came alive when we needed them. Still kind of sputtered through the game, but
another 9 strikeouts and 6 innings of work for Josh.
Yeah, just another day at the park. But a good one, good outing for Josh. He didn't get the win, but I believe Patton got the win, right?
Yeah, Jonah got the win.
Yeah, and
who was, by the way, was just dealing.
Again,
yeah,
he was dealing on, was it Tuesday night?
Yes, he was.
So he's in a groove now, it seems like, and we were talking at the game the other day about his Conference USA stats, Jonas.
Oh yeah, his in conference ERA, his Conference USA ERA. What did we say it was?
0.0.
0.0. That's pretty good.
That little was it a Blutarski?
Yeah. That's pretty good. I think 0.0 works.
Yeah, it works for me. He was dealing. So good pitching on Friday night for sure, and good to start off that series with a victory. Going into Saturday, and Saturday we had all kinds of, like I said, we had all kinds of stuff going on around campus. I think they had a huge baseball alumni event before the game. Had a little luncheon and stuff, and invited some of the former teams out. I think it was a 93, 98, and let's say 2008.
I meant to ask. We need to. Seems like a bunch of those 93 guys knew somebody in the Old Dominion dugout. I don't know. I need to ask Tim Colley who that was.
Yeah, I'm not sure the connection, but
yeah, because there definitely was one. Before the game, they had the guys out on the field, and there's Tim. Tim Colley starts walking across the diamond. I thought he was going to the mound. Okay, Tim's just going to take the ball, right? He's ready to. He's going to start today. But no, he went over the Old Dominion dugout. So we need to do some investigative work and find out.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there's some kind of connection there with all this.
They knew somebody over
baseball,
there.
Baseball's a small world, man. There's always
really cool to see all those guys back out though, and as you're. And I don't mean this. I don't mean this in a bad way, but some of these guys, you kind of, as they read the names back and they're introducing people, you go, "Oh yeah." It's not that you've forgotten about them, but you just hadn't thought about guys in a while, And when they call their name, you go, "Oh yeah." Then you start thinking about plays they made, that you remember. You're just sitting there watching. They're like, "Oh," and then they're down there with their kids and stuff, and you remember them. As
they were kids.
You remember them as kids, and there they are bringing their kids out on the field with them and stuff, and it was pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, and a lot of good things going on with the program on Saturday. Leading up to the game, there was some good tailgating going on, and I had a 40th year pennant giveaway, which got a couple of those. They look pretty sweet. Really good giveaway, by the way, by the marketing department.
It was cool. I made a mistake though. I got 2.
Yeah.
Emily got one, my wife, and I got one. She's going to put hers up in her classroom She's a middle school teacher. She's going to put hers up in her classroom, and I had mine, and then our daughter saw it. It's been confiscated.
Well,
so
I may have an extra one if you need one.
I kind of screwed myself over there. I should have gotten a third one.
Well, I snagged a couple. If you need one, I've got one for you.
Okay. I might need that.
As long as you get rid of that mug.
No.
All right. Well, on to Saturday's game. Saturday was another kind of nip and tuck type of game. We jumped on them in the first inning, got a run across, and they scored 3 on. Brooks got to start for us. He pitched fairly well. We gave up 3 in the third. I think a 2-run homer and a double. That was that one bad inning we've been talking about. Straight zeros across the board after that, before and after that, from our pitching staff. So just the one inning, they scored 3, and we kind of chipped away. Chipped one back in the third, and then another in the fourth to tie it up. Took the lead on, I guess it was Todd Elwood hit a line shot off the pitcher and scored one. But picked up an insurance run in the 7th and ended up winning 5-3. Pretty good game all around. We see Mims had an RBI. Ober had an RBI, was 2 for 4. Dom had an RBI, and like I said, Elwood had that go-ahead RBI. And
Smith had 2 for 3. Tommy was 2 for 4. So we had some balance here.
Like I said, kind of drudging along, grinding out type of game, type of series really for the first 2 games. Really couldn't get a lead and pull away from them, but got 2 victories in a row, won the series.
And Saturday night, we sat alone in 4th place by half game.
Yeah.
All alone.
So that one little half game is sitting out there. It's going to come into play down the stretch for sure. But a good day. It was a great day at the ballpark Saturday. Like I said, we got to the little tailgate before and after the game, and had a good time meeting some folks, and real good way to celebrate a victory, and then head over to see the football game a little bit. Overall,
did you have any takeaways from the football game?
From the spring game?
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway, I had a good time. My son enjoyed it. He enjoyed getting out on the field and doing some drills.
That is a cool thing, letting fans down the field.
Yeah. But biggest takeaway is the helmet had just the CPIC logo on it, like we used to have on our baseball hats.
Yes, it did.
And that's a big deal for me, I think, because for a while there we were getting rid of the CPIC logo, and all our baseball hats had the C49ers logo on them, and I personally like the CPIC logo the best, and I think it looks great on a baseball hat. And not that our hats now don't look good, but I think that CPIC baseball cap is the best we've got.
It took me a little while to get used to it. I'm kind of used to it now.
Yeah.
But when we went from just the CPIC on our hats to the C49ers, I was very much opposed to that. Very much. I think that's I think that logo has uses like on a shirt or something like that. I didn't care for it on a cap, and now I'm used to it. It's been a couple years. But if the football team can have CPICs on their helmets, I think that maybe we ought to look at going back to just the CPIC.
Yeah, and we have it on our batting helmets, but
has that been 2 years, 3 years?
I don't know. This is a third year that the big logo.
Yeah. Our first digital camo caps were CPIC.
Yeah, and hopefully next season we'll see some CPIC hats, and I'll look forward to getting one. But that was probably my biggest takeaway. Had a good time. Looked like a decent crowd out there, and Niners won, of course. Big victory for the Niners.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I'll just speak for myself. I totally did not pay attention to the action on the field. We were talking baseball after the game. We went back out and to the tailgate, and we watched some from out there. But we were talking baseball, and then we went in. What about halftime?
It was halftime.
Got our gold standard T-shirts, also confiscated by my daughter.
Well, I got a small, so.
Well, I did too. I got a small. That's what was left by the time we went in, and I got a small, so that was great to hand to her. But, you know, I was talking to people and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're waiting on a breakdown of the, and I know you're not, but if you're waiting for a breakdown of the spring football game action, you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Yeah,
because I got nothing.
I might go watch a little bit of it it's on the little CUSA TV. I might check out a little bit of it.
Yeah. There's
maybe after baseball season's over.
Our starting quarterback right now is apparently a guy that I didn't even know was on the roster.
Well, we're not going to break down the football team here. So we'll
figure it out before August.
Yeah, we'll get there in August. It was fun. I had a good time Saturday, so it was great. Son had a good time. So, yeah, it's great night. Won a series, so had a good day. But on Sunday,
and then that was it. All right, great show, guys. We'll see you next week. Oh wait, we have to talk about Sunday's game.
Yeah, we've got to talk about it. It's it's the way the baseball goes sometimes, I guess.
Why don't we do this?
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? I think Lauren Hibbs summed up Sunday. He really summed up the whole weekend in his post-game comments. Why don't we just let Lauren speak for us?
Yeah, he can speak a lot better than we can.
Yeah, we got that audio, producer Brad.
Not the effort level and not the standard that we have in the program. So, you know, it was a good week overall, but to have a chance to make it a great week and then have that kind of effort, we got to do better. Some of it's talent, some of it's just mentality, some of it's guys getting comfortable, some of it's coaching, some of it's players, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into it, as y'all know. So we're going to continue to make the adjustments that we need to make and get better hopefully this week. We got so many great things going on. We got a beautiful facility to play in, great weather. You know, our fans showed up. You know, this weekend was positive. We getting ready to get started on an $850,000 indoor facility here this coming week. We've played at a really high level at times, and we've talked about it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We just need to mature more. You know, we need to get more guys that are willing to get out there and get after it every single day.
What he said.
Yeah, I think he pretty much summed, like you said, he summed up the weekend, and it was baseball's like that sometimes. I mean, sometimes you lay an egg when you go out there. I mean, I don't think we pitched terribly bad, but the bats, I mean, we got shut out for the second time this season. So a lot of things weren't clicking today or Sunday. And
let me throw this out there, and we at times, Kevin and I, right? We are portrayed amongst the fan base, the people that really don't pay attention to the baseball program, not anybody that's listening to this, as like we are defenders of Lauren Hibbs, right? We that's our reputation.
yeah,
Well, if you want to call us defenders of Lauren Hibbs, well, okay, fine. Go back and listen to that clip again, and that's it right there. That was not, and all coaches do this. All coaches do coach speak, right? Mm-hmm. And Lauren does it. Well, I mean, he does, right? Because they all do. You know, because you can't go. What you can't do is say, well, you know, they're not that good a team, and we definitely should have beat them today. You're not going to say that, right? But listen to him talk. He's not making excuses. He's calling it exactly what it is. He's saying we should be better than this. We expect to be better than this. And when you look across what has gone on in the athletic department, with the athletic program in general, there's not been a lot of that kind of plain speak. And he is consistently doing that kind of plain speak. He'll call it what it is. And I can respect that. And so if that makes me some kind of homer or something like that, well, I mean, I am a homer, but obviously, until I start the HBU podcast in 30 minutes. But I mean, I dig that kind of honesty in a post-game comment.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is what it is, right?
We picked a bad day to have a bad day. Oh, wait, let's not do this. We didn't do anything. We didn't do anything particularly well today, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just got shut out. So, I mean, what can you say?
Only our second shutout of the season. We got shut out 2-0 at Greensboro the other week, midweek, and then we got shut out today by the Sunday pitching of a team that doesn't have a whole lot going for it.
Well,
they're last in the league for a reason.
Yeah, I mean,
and they are. That's what they are.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it happens in baseball like that. You have days like hell. The Red Sox got no hit the other night, and they're professionals, so it happens. So we had a good week. Like he mentioned, a lot of good things, a lot of positive things that is the long-term part of the program, like especially that hitting facility. They're starting on construction.
I think what it underscores is, and this is, and I'm not putting words in the coach's mouth. I'm just trying to interpret here. But when he talks about the maturity, it's that understanding of what it's going to take every day to beat everybody. I mean, there are no. And I'll give them, we talk a lot. It seems like we ended up mentioning psychology every week, right? The psychology of Old Dominion. They have Virginia Tech on the ropes on Tuesday night, and they blow it. And then they roll out there on Friday night, and they could have easily got the win on Friday. They get walked off on Friday night. And then on Saturday, they have the lead, and they lose it again. By Sunday, you got to be thinking, man, these guys are probably just ready to go home, maybe do some homework, and get ready for next week, and they're ready to get out of here. This has been a horrible week for them. Maybe they'll just mail it in.
Yeah.
And guess what? They didn't.
They did the opposite of that.
They did the exact opposite. And that's what I'm talking about with we have to show up every single game.
And it's a conference game. I mean,
nobody's giving those away.
Yeah, the conference, it counts in the standings. I mean, you got the series win, but couldn't get. I think we kind of needed 3 this week, but
we on Tuesday night when we sat down, and it was Wednesday night, our last show, when we sat down and talked about this, we avoided saying the word sweep. We got through the whole show without saying the word sweep. But yeah, we needed to sweep them. Yeah. We needed to sweep them. I mean, we had that half game, that razor thin half game margin, and it's gone. And now we're in I believe 4-way tie for 4th.
Yeah. We're in a 4-way tie with Western Kentucky, who we play.
Yeah. And
UAB, who has a tiebreaker over us. So.
Yeah, it's
as of today, we're in the tournament as a 6th seed. Which is where we were picked.
Which is where we were picked.
But I think
we should be. The 4th seed is not. We are not. I'm not gonna try to sell you and tell you we're a great team. We're not. Okay, I don't think that's news. We're not a top 25 team. Shocking. All right, newsflash. But we're a good team, and we've reiterated this a couple weeks in a row. We have the roster that can get that 4th spot and can go to Biloxi and stay a while. We have that roster,
Yep.
but it's got to go different than it did today.
Much different than today, but yeah, I mean, they're still kind of tinkering with the lineup a little bit. I mean, we had Jesse Gonzalez got his first start of the career this weekend,
Which was really cool because his family was in town.
yeah, that was very cool. So today we had pretty much mostly right-handed lineup. I guess that they're lefty. A different kind of lineup than we've seen this season, but yeah, they're still tinkering around with the lineup, and we got 4 conference series left, and we're right in the mix. Like I said, we are half game out of 4th. I think the top 3, FAU, Southern Miss, and La Tech, they've got 4. Well, we're 4 games back on the 3rd spot.
Yeah.
With what, 12 games left.
The rest of us are deciding the order behind them.
Yeah. So that's the way it's going to work down the road, I guess. And we're playing.
And honestly, for the conference's sake, that should be. We at this point we don't play any of those top 3. We need those guys to just hold serve because that's what's going to be best for our league.
Yeah. I'd like to sneak up in there, but we got to go on a run. We got to we got to win.
We need some help.
Yeah. Just that too, but
we need some help. We
would need some help to get up there, but that 4th spot is right there for us. But
yeah.
You want to go into the conference? We kind of already are into the conference stuff.
I think that's just a natural progression into it. This weekend, how about this? I'm gonna close this weekend, or I'm gonna close the whole week. This is a positive week. We had to talk about Sunday. Yeah, I get it. Today was not good, and obviously, I think you heard from the head ball coach there, not the way we wanted that to play out, and I think some things will get addressed. But if you want to, I'll throw this out there. Somebody I was pleased for today was how about Jacob Craver in his senior year? He got out there, got an appearance. That was pretty cool. His opportunities have been kind of slim this year.
Yeah,
that's a senior guy closing out his career that got a chance to get out there on the mound and did a good job while he was out there as well.
Yeah, definitely. He's pitched a lot of big innings for us, and good to see him get back out there today.
I'll always think about that NC State game.
Yeah, that State game was jumping out to me as well.
Yeah. So, okay, 3 in 1 week. You know what? I'll say, how about this? I'll go even further for you. I think it's a positive that we're in a position as a program to be sitting here talking about a 3 in 1 week, and we're going, dang. Should have got one more.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's a good thing. That means that we're trending in the right direction as far as what we're trying to get done.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's definitely a positive week. Lots to be positive about moving forward.
Big challenge coming up.
We're in the thick of it. Half game out of 4th, and we're moving to the conference. What happened this week in conference? We took 2 out of 3 from ODU, obviously. La Tech got the sweep over Marshall. FAU, we'll get to FAU Rice in a little bit, but they were FAU won the series 2-0, and they tied. Rice tied again, but
we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, Southern Miss swept Middle Tennessee. Western Kentucky took 2 out of 3 from UAB, and UTSA took 2 out of 3 from FIU. So if you look at our standings now, we mentioned it a little bit earlier. Top 3 are kind of in the set. FAU and Southern Miss are tied at the top of the conference and at 13-4. And so I mean, FAU with that tie, they're 13-4-1. Southern Miss is 13-4, and they had a rain out. So they play one less game than everybody else as far as standings go. La Tech's a half game out, or they would be tied up there with 3.
Yeah, you're right. I think a few minutes ago I said we were in a 4-way tie for 4th. I was wrong. I'm sorry about that. UTSA does have it by half game.
We're in a 3-way tie for 5th.
Yeah, I misspoke.
So UTSA's 4 games out, sitting in 4th. Western Kentucky, UAB, 3-way tie for 5th. I think we would be the 6th seed if it season ended today. FIU at 8-10, they're in 8th. Rice is in 9th at 6-10-2. They've got 2 ties. Middle Tennessee 10th with their 6-11 and 1. Marshall's 11th. Marshall and OD are tied for 11th, 5-13. That's the end of the conference there. Got Rice coming up this week.
Well, I mean, and just looking at standings here, we're 4.5. Like you said, we're 4.5 games out. We're a half game out of 4th, but we're 2 games out of missing the tournament. We have 2-game lead on 9th.
Right.
But who's 9th?
Rice.
Where we go this weekend. Yeah. So
yeah,
the plot thickens.
Yeah, a lot of news coming out about Rice today. Well,
they had a crazy weekend, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I read somewhere this morning that Wayne Graham is going to be out at the end of the season, and it doesn't sound like he wants to be out. Definitely a story that we're going to have to follow closer as the season draws to an end. But it's going to be.
You know what I'm thinking, don't you, Kevin?
What's that?
Scary question, right?
Yeah, I was no telling what you're thinking.
Oh, gee. I mean, and he's one of the all-time greats. I mean, he's it's a short list of all-time great college baseball coaches, and he's on it. So this happens. They've actually been showing some more life lately. Rice has. So now this happens. What do you suppose is going to be the reaction of the team?
Oh, let's win for
one for the Gipper.
Yeah.
And here comes Charlotte.
Who's up next? Yeah. Who's up next?
Beautiful. I think actually, and Kevin, you and I have had this conversation of as Niner fans. Sometimes I think the universe is just trolling us.
It does seem that way sometimes, but hey, you play the hand you're dealt, and we're going down there this weekend, down to Houston, and they're gonna be playing for them. I mean, they tied today, FAU.
Yeah, you want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, well, it's the conference has I guess they all agree on it before the series about the travel day rules. You have to end your game by a certain. You can't start another inning at a certain time for travel.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think the rule is in question. I think the interpretation of the rule was what was in question today.
Well, yeah. So they're tied going into the 9th, and was it the bottom of the 9th? Was it?
They had, well, let's see here. They had 2 outs. Top of the 9th, it was 6-6. I went back. I pulled it up on the on demand on Conference USA TV. 6-6, top of the 9th. 2 outs. And player from FAU hits a double. Okay, so they got the go-ahead run in scoring position, still 2 outs. Then their, what's their catcher's name? I'd know it if I heard it. Anyway, FAU's catcher comes to the plate, and he hits one down the left field line, and it takes one hop and goes into a picnic area. The ruling was fair ball. The ruling on the field was fair ball. So he's at second, 7-6, 2 outs. Graham, who, by the way, when you see him walking to the mound and he's walking slow, that he's just trolling all of you, because I saw Wayne Graham move real fast today twice, and one of them was getting out to the umpire on that play, and Graham goes crazy, and the umpires huddle up, and they reverse the call. They take a run off the board, the go-ahead run off the board, and send the runner back to second and the batter back to the batter's box. And then, of course, FAU's coach goes, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for that I can say on this podcast? Ballistic. He goes crazy. He goes ballistic. And the game literally is halted for like 15 minutes while the umpires try to sort this out. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking. So go ahead. That's the setup.
So Rice gets in there in the last inning, and they got runners on first and second
with no outs.
Nobody out, and FAU starts the stall tactics going. They know that travel time limit is fast approaching.
It's about 4:13, and there's runners on first and second with no outs.
And I saw a lot of comments on the Twitterverse about reacting to FAU's stall tactics, and they weren't very pleasant.
Were these Rice fans you're seeing?
I'm assuming they were Rice fans.
The Rice broadcaster thought that in real time, he thought that they were coming out to change pitchers because when you look at it, their entire team comes up out of the dugout like they're at first, like he thinks they're coming out to welcome their pitcher out of the game. But no, the runner, Rice, the batter standing there, he's in the batter's box. The runners are on first and second, and FAU comes out of the dugout and starts a handshake line. And the Rice players are looking around. The umpires leave the field. They go through the tunnel and downstairs through the tunnel, and FAU's putting their book bags on, their backpacks with their gear bags, and they're cleaning out the bullpen, and the runners are still standing out there on the bases.
And they're on the bus. FAU's on the bus.
And that's the second time I saw Wayne Graham move fast today. He bolted across the field and down the tunnel on the third base line to where the umpire locker room is. And he disappeared down that tunnel and didn't come back for 5 minutes. And the FAU, the Rice broadcaster says, I don't know what's going on here, but this game's not over. This game's not over. We're not going off the air. We're staying right here. This game's not over. And they finally take a commercial break.
And never come back.
Well, no, they came back, but the camera stayed on. The camera stayed on. The radio broadcast went to break, and eventually here comes Graham out of the tunnel, and he's just shaking his head, and I'm like, I was watching this in replay, so I already knew that what the result was, but can you imagine that happening at the Hayes? We've got runners on first and second with no outs, and the other team basically just says, "Well, peace out." I
thought we were close to something like that in our A10 days.
There were definitely, I could have seen that happening in the A10 as well.
Yeah, that's a crazy situation. But I guess
the league has got to rule on that, don't they? I mean, they're not going to change the game, but something's got to be said going forward, because I think everyone's interpretation was that the time matters when you start the inning.
Right. Well, I mean, we have all these pitch count or pitch clocks and between inning clocks and all that stuff. I mean, certainly weren't they on the clock? Weren't they?
I think it was total gamesmanship by their head coach.
Yeah. Well,
and to be fair, I don't know if that ball was inbounds or it was fair or foul, because they showed a replay. Rice did show a replay, but on the look, you can't see it. Not the look I saw. I don't know where that ball was fair or foul, but it was called fair. The go-ahead run was in the dugout when he was told to go back to second base. So it's not like FAU didn't have something to gripe about as well.
Right. Well, they had already won the series, so I don't know. They just didn't want to have that L on the, or possible L on there.
And they packed up and left. Does that happen in your softball league?
No.
That doesn't happen in your softball league?
No.
Teams never just left before?
Well, they leave because they don't have enough players to play. But no, that doesn't happen in old man softball.
I got to tell you, and I'll tell you, I think this this play, the play in the top of the ninth that set all this up, which is what, and that's where the time was wasted. Mm-hmm. They didn't have enough time to finish that game because the umpires took 20 minutes at least sorting out that double.
Yeah, well, here we are talking about Conference USA umpiring again.
Well, here's the deal. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know whether they got the call right or wrong. But I will tell you this: your money leagues, right? The SEC is going with 4 officials these days. There was not an umpire in position to make a good call on that play because of the runner on second. The third base umpire had shifted over. There was no one. The only person looking down the third base line was the home plate umpire. And if you have a fourth umpire, there's somebody on that third base line, and I think you stand a better chance of getting that call right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
And we don't have it. We have 3 umpires.
I'm guessing the league will be talking about this. I'm sure Rice will let them know what happened.
Oh, yeah. You better believe it. And they know. They already know. Would that be what is Merton Hanks' job? What is his title? Is he in charge of that? Is he director of competition or something like that?
I don't know, Nick. I don't know the answer to that.
I know. I mean,
I don't know who they would talk to, but
we just know who Merton Hanks is because of his interception dance.
Oh yeah, he had the big I don't know what you call it.
The chicken dance.
Kind of like head back and forth.
Yeah.
Type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but somebody's got to look at that because umpiring today, honestly, the umpiring this weekend, it wasn't great. Today was not very good. The strike zone, it didn't make a difference in the game. We were the difference in the game today, but the strike zone today was not good, was inconsistent. You never knew if you never knew from one moment to the next if the plate was going to have an outside corner.
Yeah.
I mean, and stuff like that. We just got to get stuff like that cleaned up. And Conference USA is a very good baseball league, and we need to act like it.
Yeah, I agree. They need to get better officiating. But I've said this before. There's been a clear drop off from our early season umpiring crews to the conference umpiring crews that I've seen in person at the Hayes. So we can leave it at that if you want.
Well, makes you wonder about Biloxi, but it's something that definitely needs to be addressed. We talked a little bit about. We mentioned this on the last episode, but we're hosting Wake Forest at the Hayes on Tuesday. They're probably going to be coming in here looking to get a little revenge.
Yeah, last time they came to town, it wasn't good for them. Was it 14-1, 14-2?
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't know. Pinckney and Gooding both pitched today in relief, so I'm not sure who's going to get the ball on Tuesday when they come to town. But they're here on Tuesday, and then we hit the road to Rice, and we've talked a lot about Rice. But
Pinckney threw 16 pitches today. Gooding threw 26.
Oh, so we're good. I think Pinckney will probably get to start again. He started the last 3 midweek games and done pretty solid. So I was going to say either one of the two, probably Pinckney since he threw just 16. But they've kind of been up. Wake Forest kind of been up and down this year. But we have them in town here. Let's see. I'm going to get their record real quick. Wake Forest, we beat them 13-1 at BB&T Ballpark earlier this season. They are 18-23 overall, 10-11 in the ACC. They've had some big wins. They've had, won a series against Florida State. They're they're 5 games out behind NC State in their division. But they've had some ups and downs their season. Hopefully Niners can get another win. They've got a pretty decent RPI. Their RPI's at 90. So we'll see. Hopefully get another victory, a home victory. Oh, actually, the last one counted as technically a road game, but this will be our home game, and at the Hayes. Obviously a pretty decent crowd for Tuesday night, but after that, head down the road to Rice out in Houston. Rice actually is at 105 in the RPI right now, and Niners are sitting at 108. They're 16, 23, and 2 overall. They had a really rough start to the season, and we talked about them all year. How we're just waiting on them to hit their sweet spot and start rolling. And I don't know if they've hit their stride yet, but now they've got something to play for sure. But their weekend starters, they start 3 right-handers. Friday nights, Matt Cantorino is a sophomore. His 3-4, 3.36 ERA. Their Saturday guy, Kendall Jeffries, he's 1-2, 3.43 ERA. He's a junior righty. And their Sunday starter is Addison Moss, another righty, sophomore. He's 1-3, 2.27 ERA. So that's who they're throwing out there this weekend likely, and it'll be a big road test for us. I know they've got a rich baseball tradition at Rice, and they've got a pretty good fan base, and they'll be ready to go. And
buckle your seat belts, Niner fans.
Yeah, it'd be big. It'll be a big road series win if we can get it. So you just never know what you're going to get down at Rice. So
it's not like they don't have. It's not like they don't have guys.
Yeah.
They haven't put it together yet this year, but it's not like you know they've got guys.
Yeah, there's a long list of pros from Rice that are in the bigs now, and they always have guys going pro. So they have the talent, and like I said, you never know what you're going to get these days.
Speaking of guys and talent and pros, you wanna talk about our Pro Niners real quick?
Yeah, pretty solid. I think since our last broadcast, I think Zach's hit another homer. It's because Zach Jarrett, he's like I said, he's with Delmarva. Him and TJ are both there. He's got 5 homers on the season, 10 RBIs, batting .320. I think he's among the league leaders in the Sally League in a lot of offensive categories. So he's having a breakout year in the Sally League for Delmarva. TJ, he had an interview. They had an interview with him yesterday. We tweeted out, but he's having a good season too in Delmarva. He's batting .328. He's got 8 RBIs and 6 doubles and a triple.
They've been batting second and third in the lineup a lot.
Yeah, last week or so they've been right up in the top 3 or 4 in the lineup. So yeah, they're getting their time, and I think Jared had a day off today. But
a couple of times in the last week, one's driven the other in.
Yeah, it's cool to see that stuff, man. And Netzer, he was in Winston-Salem this weekend. I know a lot of the folks went up to see him.
Yeah, we saw some pictures of folks that had.
Yeah, I think some of our guys went up there on the off day Thursday before.
Night.
But he was in Winston this weekend. He's batting .246 this season. He's got 7 ribbies and a double and a triple. Doing pretty good. You always see his name in the highlights and stuff like that. So I hate we missed him this time in Winston, but there'll be opportunities to see him down the road.
Yeah, we'll definitely
locally.
be seeing him.
Yeah, and Colt Law's still. I think he's going to be working in Vancouver this year when they get started in June. So that's Pro Niners are doing pretty good.
We got to ask that this weekend. What do you guys know about Colton? You're always talking about Zach and TJ and Brett. What do you know about Colton? Nothing.
Yeah,
We'd like to know about Colton.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody out there is in touch with him. We'd love to know what's going on.
I've looked up. I've tried to see what. I mean, you can't find minor league. I mean, minor league spring training.
Yeah, black hole.
The extended spring training stats or game info or anything. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully, maybe he'll get a call up to Lansing. They're a affiliate for the Blue Jays. Maybe he'll get with all the injuries, injuries happen and stuff,
Yeah.
and they get called up and stuff. But maybe their spot in the rotation opens up for Colton sooner rather than later. So
Yeah,
we'll
but
keep an eye
definitely
on
by short A season.
Yeah, he'll be in Vancouver more than likely. So
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this one up, Kevin. We've got one home game this week, Tuesday night. So if you want to come see us take on Wake Forest, would be a great opportunity to do that. Come on out. 687-4949 and put you in touch with the 49er ticket office. Buddy John George and his crew over there. I'd be happy to hook you up with some tickets. Also, you can just come out to campus and hit the ticket office up when you get there if you want to do it that way. You can also buy online at packthemind49.com. If you wanted to communicate with us, Twitter's a great way to do it. Facebook's a good way to do it. And diamond9erfans@gmail.com works as well. If you like any of this, if you don't like any of this, if you don't care either way, subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We'd appreciate it. Kevin, we got another show in the books.
Yep. We came back for more, man. Still.
And 2 good weeks in a row.
Yeah, we broke the streak, man. We got back-to-back good weeks, and great hearing all the good positive feedback from everyone this weekend.
Awesome meeting everybody. Great weekend on campus.
Yeah, good people.
All right, guys, we're going to let you go here. Cannot wait to be back with you next week where we're going to talk about our 3rd good week in a row. How about that?
That's right.
There's positive momentum there. All right, folks, until next time, for Kevin and producer Brad, I'm Nick, and we will see you at the Hayes.